Welcome back to the Perks Recap MLB podcast, talking about the New York Yankees. Real quick, just some news on them. Um, of course, Jazz Chisholm is hurt out 4 to 6 weeks, and apparently he wants to beat the timetable, but he's got like three strains, or so there's like three parts of the lat that are actually injured. He's still saying he wants to beat the time frame back. I remember when he got hurt, he said he wanted to play the next game, which is crazy to me considering he's out for 4 to 6 weeks now. But anyway, so you got that situation. Then you've got DJ LeMahieu is playing minor league games. Now, I am no fan of DJ LeMahieu, and I do think he's cooked. And Cabrera has been okay. He's not lighting the world on fire or anything, but he's also not batting 150 or anything. Like Oswald Peraza was batting 205, I believe. Cabrera's in the 250 range or so, but he's in a slump right now. So I'm willing to at least give DJ LeMahieu some play at third base and see if there's anything left in the tank. I don't believe there is, and I do believe he'll be off the team, possibly as soon as at some point this year. Also, speaking of off the team, they DFA'd Carlos Carrasco. I was calling for it, and you knew the two problems in the rotation were Carrasco and Will Warren, but you also knew Will Warren wasn't going anywhere because he's still young, and there's still a chance for him to turn into something, and his stuff is still good. So you knew of the two, it was going to be Carrasco that went, and that's exactly what happened. Um, it seems like possibly um, the Tampa Bay reliever, and of course now I can't remember his name. I'll get it before the end here. Um, the former Tampa Bay reliever, the opener, and I think he's might be getting some starts. He had a um, 4 inning outing spot start last Saturday. I can't. Why can't I think of his name? It's so stupid. I will find it. I promise. I got some notes. I try to be prepared before I come on here, and I didn't think I'd be talking about him, but it just came to my mind about the fact that he might be taking Carrasco's starts or have some spot starts here and there. Anyway, also on the injury front is Giancarlo Stanton, and we all know Stanton, and he's always hurt and this and that. But we want him for the postseason. But apparently, he is actually kind of trending that in a good direction in terms of coming back relatively soon for him anyway. Not in the next couple of weeks, but probably in the same time frame as maybe a Jazz Chisholm, like a month. If he's back in a month, we got the conundrum of him and Ben Rice both playing DH. Ben Rice has been primarily DH. He does play some first. What they're going to have to do, and I hear now they're finally open to this as well, is if they need to give him a couple more starts, a couple more at bats, they might throw him in at catcher here and there. Because he is a former catcher and he did catch some in spring training. So between catcher, first base, and DH, Ben Rice can get some should be able to get some at bats. You got a DH Judge from time to time too, and then of course you've got Stanton, who's going to primarily be the DH. We'll have to see how it goes. Anyway, let's get to the games. San Diego Padres, New York Yankees. This was an important series. Coming in, the Padres were 23-10, and they were right. I mean, they're right on the Dodgers' heels. And it's a good team, but the Yankees are at home, and I've been saying the Yankees are bullies, and they play well at home and not well on the road. Well, this was one was going to have to give here because they can't really be bullies to the Padres because the Padres are a really good team, and I've been saying that as well, that they don't play well against good teams. And the first game kind of held the script. It was a 4-3 Padres win, but it was a game the Yankees absolutely should have won. First off, Trent Grisham hit another home run. That was his ninth. It was nice to see Bellinger with a stolen base as well. Um, Judge had an 0 for Goldschmidt, 2 for 4. He's still batting 350. Or was still batting 350. Carlos Rodon, fourth start in a row now, where he's really good. 6 innings, no runs, 5 Ks, 3 hits, 1 walk. Carlos Rodon, I don't know if he won it or was in the running for the Cy Young a few years ago with the Giants right before he came to the Yankees. He might have even won it. But, I mean, that was an incredible season for him. And if we can get some semblance of that kind of a season out of him, we're off to the races. That'd be phenomenal. I'm still, iffy on that, and I'm still expecting an implosion here and there from him because it's just in his makeup. That's what he does. Nick Pivetta came in with a minuscule ERA, and the Yankees got 3 runs off of him. 2 of them earned in 5 innings, so they did a decent job against one of the better pitchers so far this season. The problem here, Devin Williams, 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs, and then Luke Weaver gives up his first run of the year. Comes in, only gets 1 out. They both combined for the disastrous 8th inning, and they gave up 4 runs between them. Williams left with the bases loaded. Weaver gave up a hit to bring everybody around. I think it was a double, and then gave up another hit. He gave up 2 hits in a run. His ERA now at 0.59. So still phenomenal. Devin Williams is at 10.03 for the ERA at this point. So not good. I don't know what they're going to do with Devin Williams, especially at this point. I was thinking this just might not work. It just might not work. Anyway, let's go to the second game. This is what the Yankees have been doing. Even when they're losing these series, usually they'll lose the first game, and then the second game they come out and they destroy the other team. They put up some ridiculous amount of runs, and then the third game they lose again and losing the series because they've lost some series here, and they're definitely coming back to the pack. But a 12-3 win, unbelievable. Judge hit his 12th home run. Wells hit a home run. But the thing is, the 12 runs, besides those 2 homers, uh, and Wells's was a grand slam. Wells had 5 RBIs on the day. It was all just hits. Everybody got hits in this 7th inning, 10 runs in the 7th inning, all just base hits, basically capped off by the homer by Wells. Clark Schmidt comes in, goes 6 innings, 2 runs, and this is kind of I've been saying I like Clark Schmidt. I don't think he's a dog like some of these other people are saying that he's not an MLB pitcher or just having problems with him. They're lumping him in with Carrasco and Warren as problems in the rotation, and I just don't see it with Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt should be a number 4 or number 5, and unfortunately for us, he's a number 3. But that's a different story. But regardless, I think there's outings like this. He pitched against a good team. Goes 6 innings, 2 runs, matches Michael King, who's been having a phenomenal year. Also goes 6 innings, gives up 2 runs. Michael King's ERA, even after this outing, and this was a good outing, 2.22, pretty good. The Yankees, who they bounced around, was Wandy Peralta, old friend Wandy Peralta, former left-handed reliever for the Yankees. Yeah, he went 2/3 of an inning and gave up 6 runs. So that'll inflate the ERA a little bit. Um, yeah, other highlights. Bellinger 1 for 3. Dominguez 2 for 3. Cabrera, by the way, I was wondering about his batting average. He had an offer, and like I said, he's slumping a little bit. He's down to 250, but he was over 260 just a little bit ago. I would not just give DJ LeMahieu the job at third base without, you know, giving Cabrera some playing time there. I wouldn't be playing DJ, more than 4 or 5 games without giving Cabrera a game. If DJ's hitting, he might be worse than Cabrera at the plate because so far that's all we've seen the last few years is he's just not even really like it. It's tough to say, but he's getting older and it seems like he's not MLB worthy to be at the plate anymore. It's that bad. Volpe got a steal, his 6th, and Wells got one because he was on the back end of a double steal. So that's pretty cool. That's always fun. So now we go to the last game, and I said the first game the Yankees should have won, but this last game the Padres should have won. So the Yankees lose that second game, and the Padres lose this third game. So either way you slice it, the Yankees winning 2 out of 3 was about right because the Padres absolutely blew this game. Coming into the eighth inning, the bottom of the eighth, the Yankees are down. Let's see, 3-1. They're losing 3-1 in the bottom of the eighth, and Bellinger hits a home run. Did he get 2 RBIs or one? Just the one. It was a solo shot. And then let's see here. Sorry. It was basically Bellinger, and then it was turned out to be Grisham. As a pinch hitter, Grisham comes up and hits a home run. Grisham's 10th home run. What is going on with Trent Grisham? He's batting 292 now with an OPS still over 1,000. I don't get it. I have no idea what's going on with Trent Grisham. Never would have expected this. Max Fried does what Max Fried does, has been doing 7 innings, 1 run, 5 Ks. No, I'm sorry, 8 Ks, 5 hits. ERA at a minuscule 1.05. He's your Cy Young winner after the first month. Who knows how, if that will last or not. Ian Hamilton did not look good. He's been good all year. When in the little bit that they've used him, they've kind of used him sparingly, but he only gets a third of an inning, gets 1 out, and gives up 2 runs. And then Weaver comes on, and he goes 1.2, an inning and 2/3 to clean up Hamilton, but he gave up 1 hit, and the hit is what caused Hamilton to give up those 2 runs because he came in with the runners on base. So Weaver came on, and he didn't get an earned run against him. His ERA is down to 0.53. But the thing is, he didn't, in my opinion, didn't really do the job because, he came on with runners on base and they stayed, he didn't strand them at all. He let them both in. So Yankees come on and then they tie the game on the Trent Grisham home run. That ties the game. It goes into extra innings. In the extras, Devin Williams comes on. And of course, I just talked about what happened to him 2 days earlier. But they brought him right back out there. Obviously, high pressure situation when it's, 10th inning, extra innings. Ghost runner on. I believe, yes, he had a walk. So now you got 2 runners on. I thought it was bases loaded. I could be wrong because it says he only gave up 1 walk and no hits. And there would have been the ghost runner. So maybe it was just 2 runners on. I could have sworn it was 3. Or maybe it was 2 runners on second and third. But regardless, it was a tense situation, and what Devin Williams has shown us so far is usually this is not going to go well. And he got out of it. He ended up striking out the side. All 3 outs were strikeouts, and after that last out, he was fired up, showed real emotion there, and the fans were behind him. So maybe this could be a turning point game for him. In actuality, this could be a turning point game for the season for the Yankees, considering that, like I've been saying, they've been bullies. They're not playing well against good teams, not playing well on the road. And this was a good team. They were at home, but it was a good team, a very good team, and they were on the ropes and again in danger of losing their third consecutive series in a row and fourth out of the last 5, I believe, something like that. And you know, that's a situation. Now all of a sudden you got a problem, and they came out of this. Devin Williams does his job. It was tense, but he did it. Showed that emotion, and then on comes the bottom of the 10th inning. Ghost runners on. I believe it's Jason Dominguez. I don't know for sure, but let me make sure the sacrifice. Yeah, the sacrifice bunt was by Cabrera. He tried to do a bunt a few days ago, and it popped it up, and the pitcher ended up catching it, which was a disaster. But he got the bunt down this time, And so that's a good job by him. Got the runner over to third. And then a pinch hit. Escara, the catcher, pinch hits for Peraza, who came out for defense at the time. And yeah, he gets the sacrifice fly, and that ends the game. A 4-3 victory. And like I said, they were down 3-1 in the bottom of the eighth inning. And they come back and win the game 4-3 in extras. San Diego had 6 hits. Yankees only had 3 hits. But they got the job done. That's all that matters. Yankees had 3 hits and 3 walks. And they had 6 hits and 3 walks as well. So either way you slice it, San Diego had more traffic on the bases. But the Yankees get the win there, 21-16. They're they're just barely hanging on to first place, and we'll see where they go from here. Today is Thursday. It is, I believe, the 8th. Yes, May 8th is today, Thursday, and we'll have to see where they go from here. Friday, tomorrow, they start a new series, and that will be, I believe it's with, oh, it's Oakland. They're going to Sacramento. Well, I'm sorry, not Oakland. The Athletics going to Sacramento. And surprisingly, the Athletics, they're not a pushover. I mean, they're playing okay. If I'm getting this right, and I believe I am. Um, yeah, they're not doing too bad. Let's get the standings here before we get out of here, if I can find them. The standings. Here we are. Okay. Yes, the Athletics are 20-18 with a winning record and in second place behind the Mariners, who we play after them. So we have a West Coast trip going to Sacramento and then to Seattle against 2 teams that are in first and second in the AL West, both with good record, winning records. The A's just over 500 at 20-18, the Mariners 22-14. This is on the road against good teams. This has been a disaster so far. The good teams have given us a lot of trouble. We finally beat one, but it was at home, and going on the road has given us trouble. If we can even just go, I would love 4-2. If we can go 4-2, everything's hunky dory. Everything is rosy. But if I'm being realistic, I'll even take 3-3. Just get out of there. Maybe you lose one series and win one series, whatever the case is. Um, I would love to win both series, but what you can't have is a 2-4 trip or a 1-5 trip, or dare I say an 0-6 trip. They're all on the table. We'll have to see where they land after that. Of course, I'll be back after the Oakland series. Like I said, it begins Friday. Thank you for joining me. I'm really having a lot of fun doing these. Hopefully, you're enjoying them. Until next time, I will see you later.